Hello, my name's Niranjan, the host of Master of Your Crafts podcast. Learning from leaders who are continuously inspired, passionate, and driven to align with their soul purpose, sharing their gifts to bring healing to others. The music is composed by Rebecca Everett. Today is episode number 31, and I'll be talking to Enrique Moctezuma, a 28-year-old adventurous guy born and raised in Mexico. As an engineer graduate from the National Polytechnic Institute, he then went on to work in construction, where he found his love for travel. He traveled to more places in 3 years than all his life, and he wanted to see more of the world. He learned to work hard, set goals, and with guidance from mentors, he identified nothing is impossible. In 2017, he moved to Ireland. Not only did he love the beautiful country, he also discovered his second and third love, gastronomy and photography, both fulfilling his passion for creativity and the arts. While Enrique combined all three passions in his life, he's met some extraordinary people, mentors, and heartfelt friends along the way who enhance his discovery of life. Hello and welcome to Enrique. How are you, Enrique?
I'm good, and you? What about you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm excited to have you on the show because I came across your profile on Instagram. And on Instagram, you share some amazing, beautiful pictures. And that's what caught my attention and made me more curious about who you are. Who is the man behind all these pictures who has the wonderful opportunity to be able to travel to these gorgeous places? So that's why I invited you on the show. And I'm grateful that you accepted an invitation from a complete stranger to be on a podcast to share your thoughts. So thank you for doing that. A question for you is, what do you believe on your journey of photography and capturing moments of history? What do you believe about yourself in being the instrument or being an individual capturing that?
Yeah, and thanks for the words, and I appreciate that you have seen my photos. Like, not many people took the time to see them, and thank you for the words. Mm-hmm. And answering your question, I believe that anyone can do a photo. Doesn't mean that you need a professional camera or professional equipment. You just need to go out even with your phone and try to show your mood, because in photography we have many different styles that people likes, shadows or more brightness, mm-hmm. or more contrast. So I would say that, or at least I believe, depends on my mood, that I'm on a day that I'm gonna photo shoot, I would try to show my mood on the photos. Right. I would say an example in Dublin is it's all the time is raining, is mm-hmm. kind of depressive weather, mm-hmm. for my opinion, but it's gorgeous to take moody photos or with the smooth tones, mm-hmm. or sometimes we have fog on the street, so it's gorgeous to take people just walking. So yeah. I try to show not my feelings, but what is this weather for me,
right,
kind of how to say, it's not the best weather, but has a beauty on it.
I truly agree. I think it's really based on the perspective that you look at life in. If you look at it from, there is beauty in the fog and the gray sky, or not. or it's just gray sky and fog, it's depressing. So it's one's perspective, right?
Yeah, like the photo, well, it has many techniques that you will start learning from the scratch. Like nobody get to the level that they have from nowhere. Like all the goals that you have in your life, you need to follow like a plan and a structured plan. Obviously you need mentors and need probably procedures to follow it. At the beginning it wasn't the best ones because nobody liked it, or like you show them, or even what you can see in the apps of social media that you share the photo, like nobody likes probably these kind of photos. Like it's just a specific target. But when as long as you are like in the photography, you start learning like, oh, these kind of colors are the same beautiful as the other color that is more pop up. So yeah, like the perspective, every people has different perspective. I don't know who said this, but the art is as abstract.
Yes.
So like everyone is gonna see why they really want or why they really see. So and they will like every different styles, and yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting how the style you have created, investigating from one spectrum to another, is interesting, and it's very reflective, like you said, on your mood. And I don't know you, but I would imagine that with everything that you're going through, it's mimicked through that lens. You've traveled to many places. You're now in Dublin. That transition and being an expat, and moving from location to location, meeting different people, being challenged with accents and dialogues and food and all those things that make us individuals living life through experiences, you're able to capture, from my perspective, through that lens.
Anything is perfect at the beginning because you need to look the perfection on it. Like as you say, that I have been in some places that the environment is not perfect. You can have probably a sunny, beautiful day. In other times you have a rainy, foggy day. So you need to start looking in the beauty on the place that probably you didn't expect that they were so pretty. And I have a perfect example because I went to Croatia, I think 2 years ago, and I saw a national park that when I saw the photos, was, well, the photos look great. Probably they have a little bit edition, but the place looked really beautiful on picture. So when I went there, oh my God, was the only day that was raining on the forecast. Like the 3 previous day or the 3 next day, the forecast said that was with sunny day, but just the day that I went there was rainy all the day. So I tried to take photos. Some photos had a little like noisy on the quality of the photo. So when I tried to start looking for the best ones, I start seeing that conditions that at the beginning nobody expect anything, you can get beautiful good shots. So since that time I start don't be disappointed because of the environment, because it wasn't the first time that I got a rainy or cloudy sky. Like probably the north of Europe is really common that you have cloudy sky all the time. It's just probably one sunny day per month. I don't know. Need to learn what to do with the things that you have.
Absolutely. And yes, that's very true in Europe and in England. I can vouch for that. Those sunny days are far and few and in between. They're not as common as we would like them to be. So the blessings and the beauty within those gray skies is quite a gift to be able to look at, to be able to see
absolutely.
that. It's quite a gift.
Yeah.
How do you see that representing in your own life outside of the lens? Do you see life the same way, be it your professional life, your personal life, your engagement with friends or family? Do you see it the same way?
I would say no, because, well, before being a photographer, I was an engineer. So my world was just numbers, and I have probably a square brain. So I couldn't do anything creative in some way. So when I changed my life and I moved into Dublin, I start like from scratch, start learning new hobbies. So I could develop another hobby that is gastronomy, that at the beginning I did just for fun. Probably I didn't know that I have the skills to do it. So what's the same with photography? At the beginning, I didn't know that I have the potential. I didn't know that probably I have the creativity. I never had the opportunity to develop. Right. So now with my life, I try to never say that I cannot do, because I remember that now I start doing some videos, cinematic videos. And I remember that one friend told me, oh, you should do videos because you have like a good eye to catch like really good moments. And I said, no, man, even with photos took me taking me time to get with the right edition. Now imagine how it's gonna be with the videos, that you need a good equipment, you need to put like the precise music to increase the feeling of the video. And now I'm doing cinematic videos like time to time. The photography helped me to never say no, or never stop myself to intend something, because before I didn't have the opportunity to know if I were good or not.
Well, that's very brave of you to go into that space, to venture into a space that you've not really delved into before. Like you said, especially having come from a very analytical brain and engineering, it's quite a contrast.
Yeah, completely contrast. Is totally different. I have been in touch with my friends in Mexico that I used to work with them, to ask about if I was getting a job from my background. And now they start like pushing me or trying to, oh man, you should go to some competition in photography from Canon or Nikon or Sony. So, well, I'm saying to them, okay, probably is the next step, trying to be more technical, but now I'm on the level that is beginner, but not professional.
Yeah. Well, it's always interesting to see not only your own growth in where you are at, from an analytical brain to a very creative brain and all the pieces in between, and also how others now see you. So your friends, your family knew you as an engineer, now see you as a creative, as a photographer.
Yeah, they do why they think that they are good enough to do something, so they stop themselves, try to do another thing. Some of my friends didn't do their hobbies because they say, oh, probably it's not my style, or I shouldn't do this because I need to focus on another thing. So I had the opportunity to encourage some friends to start doing, not with photography, but with creative content. Like probably friends start with photography and other friends with food, that they worries about working at restaurants and say, okay, probably it's not the best job, but it's gorgeous when you prepare something and it's delicious. So I had the opportunity to encourage people to try other background that they might have in the past, but they didn't do.
And how rewarding is that for you?
I really appreciate like the words they say, when they say, when I start seeing them, that they are following their dreams in some way. Because I remember, I remember that I talked with this guy 3 months ago, that he was working in an office and now he's working on the beach doing some cleaning on the sand, or recollecting the beans, because he was more in love with the planet than with the technology. Because while I have some friend that he changed his life, he now is living, I think, in Guatemala. And I remember that when I talked with him, he asked me, oh, how did you lose the fear to let your family, to let your own stuff, to let your job, and say like, man, you have just material things. The important thing is your time and your life. So if you think that your time is good, that you will share with a guy who doesn't care about you and 8 hours per day, so it's okay for you. But if not, just quit. And it's gonna be hard at the beginning, but nothing is gonna be bad with the time. Like, as long as you keep going and keep motivate yourself, so it's okay. So this is the word motivate. So when I saw the I see my friends that they are doing what they want, or they are trying to follow their dreams, motivate myself to keep going with my dreams, and as well to talk freely with the people, and they don't take me as crazy, or, oh, probably you were lucky because you didn't have problems when you moved to Ireland. So yeah, it's kind of motivate.
That's great motivation. Yeah, that's great motivation. Absolutely. Yes, you motivate them, but where did it come from for you? Not wanting to stay or not staying, because I'm sure you could have stayed in Mexico and built a career in engineering and lived life out there. And
probably the breaking point was in 2016. I remember that I was working in a company. They sent me to travel abroad in Mexico and some parts in America. So I was going from place to place. Probably in each month, I was new a new place. I was meeting new people. I was getting new friends or new mentors. So in this point, I was developing my career really fast, really quick in the company. But at the same time, I was sacrificing my family, because in those years I saw them probably twice per year, or probably 3 times. I don't remember well. But when they brought me back to the headquarters in Mexico City. So I changed my life completely, because I had to stay in an office for 8 hours again. So I say, like, okay, I don't want this. I need to do something with moves, with mobility. I don't like to be in this, because, well, Mexico City is a big city. You lose between 2 or 3 hours just in the traffic jams, just dealing with people that they are the same stressful that you are. So I start comparing this this stuff with the previous that I have. So I got an idea, like, okay, I'm young. I don't have like responsibilities with my family, like, thanks to God that they have their jobs, they have their money in savings. So they did. I didn't have the necessity to be in charge with money or giving money to my family to support them. So I have like freely enough to do whatever I want. So I look the opportunity to move to another place, because I'm way too grateful with the company that I was working for, because they show me anything is impossible, but you just need to give the first step, because the following step is gonna be automatically.
Yes.
So I would say this.
That's a big leap of faith for you to do that, right?
Yeah. Like at the beginning, I was skating on the airport. In Mexico airport, we have a long way from the security checkpoint until the gates. And I remember that in those 10 minutes that I was walking alone, because it was Saturday at the night, I remember perfectly this moment. Was alone along the way, and was weird because it's probably one of the most places that people walk through. So in that moment, in those 10 minutes, was alone. And I was thinking, what I'm doing? I have a good job. I have family. My family is healthy enough. I have a good relationship. And now I'm quitting everything just to go for another place. And I don't know what is going on with those. So, okay, let's do it. And unfortunately, I didn't have any problem to get used with the life in Ireland. So just the normal problems, like with the accents, with the paperwork.
Big courageous steps with that internal dialogue that you had to have with yourself of, should I stay? Should I go? What am I doing? Is this real? But yet knowing that there's a deeper part of you going, I don't want to be sitting at my desk 9 to 5 anymore. This is not working.
I just start looking around you and start getting a balance in your life, feeling that probably money is not the best thing in the world. Like, okay, money solve a lot of problems. But I remember in that time that, okay, I have probably money to survive. I have a good apartment, I have a car, I have my own things, but I was on a bad shape of myself. Like, I have a bad diet. I was a little overweight. I didn't have time to myself because, well, photography, I started probably 4 years ago. So in those years, I couldn't even couldn't buy a camera because I didn't have the time to look for it. So now, if I can describe myself now, like, I have free time for myself. I'm in my best shape, like a good health, good diet. I work my 8 hours like normal people, but I don't spend extra hours, or I don't go home thinking, oh, what I'm gonna do tomorrow in the job, because, well, it's something that I really miss about my last job. Like, I remember coming back home, getting stressed because, oh, I need to do this tomorrow, or I need to prepare this for the next week. And just now in my work, I'm happy because just I work 8 hours, probably a little bit extra hours in specific dates like Christmas, Valentine's Day. But the other days is just 8 hours coming back home, watch a movie, going to the gym, prepare. Even people ask me, oh, do you cook when you are at your home, because you cook all the day in the restaurant? And say, like, yes, man, I am still cooking at my house, because it's something that I really like. So in this time, I didn't have time for this, and now that I have time for my hobbies, for my likes. I'm not gonna live just easily this kind of life.
Right. Creating that balance is so crucial. It's so crucial. But yeah, it's something that I believe is overlooked when we get into a career or we take a path that we are kind of told to pursue, be it from family, friends, society, that we should be an engineer or we should be a doctor and this is what life should look like. But following your own compass, be it your intuition or that little voice in your head says, you want to have a little bit more of a balance in life. Let's see what that looks like. So listening to that and following that path, I think, is so crucial. So as you did that for your own life, what do you feel were some of those things that took you on the step of living life in balance and living life with all areas included?
Good question. As nobody comes to life with all the knowledge, you learn from your parents, from your teachers, from your friends. So, like, improvise could be, because like, I believe in destiny, and I believe that everything is already right, but as well, I believe like you create your own destiny. So it's kind of contradictory, this argument. But with these skills that I start like learning in the past year, if I didn't have the good mentors, a good, not the good job, because the good spot to learn and to practice, probably my skills didn't or wouldn't be good enough by today. I mean, like, everything has to be connected. Talking about the universe, like, everything is connected. So if you want, all your environment, all your surrounded area is gonna help you to get some goals, right? Where something is not to you, everything is gonna try to stop you to don't do this or do not to try it, or everything is gonna try to stop you. So following these kind of guidelines in my life, I have been here. Like, when I have I don't know, a feeling, I shouldn't do this, or I shouldn't believe I'm gonna be good enough in this, because probably I'm not good enough, or probably I'm not sufficient for them. Now, nothing for this. It's just, okay, it's not the time to be in that moment. Because, for example, my father used to say that when you get something, it's because you get with the right person and the precise moment. So combining all this stuff with the skills that I have learned is how I could get like my goal. So I could advise to the people, if you have a goal, okay, try to have a structured plan to the goal, but at least don't try to rush, don't try to go in fast, don't try to rush the things, because when it's something to you, you don't need to rush. It's in some point of the life is going to come to you, so don't need to rush.
Yes.
Yep.
Not rushing and being patient. Very wise words from your father. Great wisdom, and even just that one sentence that you shared is very wise of your father to share with you.
This. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you feel that that's something he lives his life by?
He's already in retirement, so he's enjoying literally his life with my mom, just in a relaxed mode. Sure. But coming back to his working life, he had a really good opportunities to grow up in the company, to climb the ladders. So since the beginning, he told me this when I start working, or when I apply for college opportunities. And he said, okay, Enrique, you need to prepare yourself. Yes, absolutely. But if you don't take the exam at the first, or for some reason the school doesn't accept you, easy, you can try the next year, but doesn't mean that that is not your destiny, in some way to say that you are not right in some point to how to say this. I forget it, the idea.
That's okay.
That
may be something like can you just watch your mic a little bit? I don't know whether it's hitting on your sweater or something. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That everything happens as it needs to. Everything unfolds when it's supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my father, he had just one job in his life. Like he has spent over 30 years, I think, in the same company. Yeah. So he didn't have the experience to say, okay, this interview is gonna be like this. All the time he was changing from the departments in the company. So he was saying, like, in the right time, the results come to you without that you expect.
Yeah.
So he said, like, just be patient. Everything is gonna come to you when is the time. And literally what's true has been true all the time.
I think that's the challenging thing for many, is having the patience, because we want everything now. We live in such a consumed environment where everything is so instantaneous. We have the phones in our pockets on all the time. We can connect to everything. We have that instant gratification. Whereas allowing something to come to us it can be difficult. It can be challenging. So wise words of allowing it to come to you, and you'll know when it comes to you at that right time.
Yeah, I try to encourage the people when they come to Ireland, because at the beginning, nobody has everything already set up. Yeah. Like, I mean, when someone changes to another new country, you need to get a house, you need to get a job, you need to get the papers to do all the things. So many people, so many, I would say, Mexicans that I have met here, depress themselves or they discourage themselves because they couldn't get this in the first month or the second month. And say like, okay, just don't rush, don't be patient, because it's paperwork. You need to get a queue 2 hours to get a paper to go out to another queue in the next week. So it's the same paper that you have to do in Mexico here. So if in Mexico you never rush, why you have to come here and rush and start rushing the people or start rushing yourself? So just calm down, be patient, and that's it. And many people has followed like that advices, and they spend more time in Ireland, but another people just they last 6 months and they came back to Mexico because they couldn't get over with the situation to get a new house, to get a new job. They was working in jobs that they didn't like. So, but nothing is perfect.
That's right. That's right. But in the same token, it's also based on how you look at life, right? Coming back to your photography, it's seeing the gray skies of Ireland and recognizing this beauty within that grayness. And it's not all sadness. So with that, what do you feel is your intentions with the crafts that you are developing, growing, enhancing, and garnering? What is it you want people to learn from? What's your intentions behind it?
Well, the first intention, I would say, is to show to the people that it's just one more place than you believe or you think. Like many people just spend all their life in just one place, in a small town, in a city. So my intention is to show them like, hey, there is a world out there. It's a beautiful world. They are for all the likes, hot places, cold places, windy places, mountains areas, beach zones. So my intention is in a affordable budget, I would say, because I travel like a backpacker. So in affordable way, you can go to, for example, Iceland. The first excuse that they don't go to Iceland, they say, oh, because it's so expensive, that country. And yes, it's expensive. I'm not gonna say the opposite. But if you look really deep on the idea, you can get to Iceland in a low budget. So, and Iceland, for example, it's a new world. I think it's one of my favorite countries I have ever been. So I try to intend to people to put the country that they want to be, start planning the budget, or start planning the route, or start something with the country that they want to go, or the place that they dream of. So the idea is to show them.
To show them that there's more of a world outside of where they've been raised or where they currently live. There's more to experience.
Yeah.
So where do you go from here? You've been able to travel. You're in the flow of life, as we say, by allowing things to come to you and being patient and recognizing and observing when is the right time. Observing when to be patient. The life will show you obstacles or open doors for you. What's next on your path of adventure of life?
But I would say a compromise because, well, I have a girlfriend, so we have already been 2 years together, almost 2 years. So I think the new step would be start a family. I mean, I'm not the place, that's for sure. Like, she's from Chile, so probably could be Chile or could be Mexico, or we are thinking to Australia or New Zealand. Of Asia, maybe Korea has like good opportunity to work in. So we are not sure the destiny, but we have the journey that we want to start like this part of the life, like start sharing with more than your couple. probably kids, I don't know. Start getting to this level of life, start like a family.
The next natural phase of life, which would be to start a family, I guess, possibly for you. But that sounds pretty interesting, which will be a whole different type of experiences and moods, no doubt, that you will be able to capture when having toddlers and sleepless nights, but yet the laughter and the joy that those little bundles bring with them too. So I'm excited for you.
My parents has given me some advices from their point of view.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to taking care about all the consequences or possibilities that come with it.
Yeah.
So, but yes, the idea is keeping our dreams, but as well trying to making a legacy of with my girlfriend and I. So yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
It's a small plant. Yeah.
Beautiful. But ultimately, the universe will present what it will present.
Yeah, I do believe that. I strongly believe the world energy is gonna help us in some way.
Absolutely. As long as we just stay in that flow, then go with it, then why not? Opportunities are endless, as you said at the beginning.
Yeah, you have said we are the only one which we can stop ourselves, just us.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. We're the ones in control of it, whether we go or whether we stop. So
yeah,
that's exciting stuff. I'm excited for you. And Enrique, I'm so grateful for you to be able to take time and share your stories and your wisdom and your life experiences, motivations of all that you have experienced over your years. So I really appreciate you taking time out on this call. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you for the time. I'm really happy to help you and your audience to go further than they think. And it's an honor to take part of this. And
thank you again, Enrique. I'm Naranjan, and you've been listening to Master of Your Crafts podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and join me next week for another episode. Thank you for listening.